and I'm like not knowing what to do, and it was kind of rickety, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing's going to fall apart. But this one that we rode on, oh my gosh, I mean, warmers. I mean,
they're like the Cadillacs.
They're pretty
now.
nice.
They're
now,
nice.
Some of the features that we can see on these.
So yeah, I just picked up a new sled this year, right? So I just got mine.
Lucky you.
Yeah. So yeah, they're getting a little more pricey, kind of like cars, right? But so yeah, hand warmers, thumb warmers. They the suspensions are the big thing, right? So the suspensions are huge on them now. So bumps are no big deal. So it makes it comfortable for everybody, and you can get a 2-up or a single. So you can kind of pick where you want. You can get a 4-stroke or a 2-stroke. So there's so wide of a range of sled that you want. So there's something for everybody. Or if you just want something around your house to work with, they have those too. They have work sleds. So it's kind of cool.
And they go fast, right?
They all go fast.
They go really fast.
They all go crazy fast.
Paul, have you been on a fast one before?
Yes, I have, and it just scared the heck right out of me. So I am more of the let's ride out to Starvation Lake and have a burger and a Pepsi and then ride back and enjoy the scenery, And Kevin really hit the nail on the head, and that's what's nice about Gaylord is we are definitely a family destination. And you see a lot of families out there. It's really there's a culture of motorsports in the state of Michigan. I mean, we're the largest producer of automobiles in the world. And so you get that whole mentality of people liking engines and going fast. And it's been part of our culture for years and years and years. And but what's really nice is when I was a kid, we had snowmobiles growing up, and I delivered a newspaper route on a snowmobile. And you'd pull up to basketball practice, and there'd be 8 snowmobiles outside the gym because we did use it, but then we'd go out. A friend of mine was a farmer, and he had 120 acres. We just go out there and ride and have a lot of fun. So there is a wide variety, and that's what's nice for us too. Is I see a lot of families out there, Kevin. And one thing, the lodging at Beaver Creek Resort, one thing for lodging for snowmobilers, it's a little bit different in restaurants. There's a lot of gear. There's helmets and there's boots and there's gloves and there's snowmobile suits. And you want to have a place where there's plenty of room once you're done riding for the day where you can store this stuff. Or if you go to a restaurant, you got to set your helmet down or maybe take your boots off. So there's some features, but there's parts of Michigan that you can only see on snowmobile that are really spectacular, right, Kevin?
There's a lot of beautiful places that you can only see, and there's places that you can see in the summer. For instance, I was just last winter, I was at a place called Bond Falls in the UP.
Oh, beautiful place.
It is cool. It is unbelievable in the winter when you have the ice cascading and then it's all on the trees and it's a totally different world. It's like Frozen, I guess I would say. It really is. It's cool.
I love that. Well, Kevin, if people want to maybe come up and visit Beaver Creek or plan a snowmobile trip, where should they go for more information?
That's a good start. They can start at bcrrentals.com. We'll get you the cabins at Beaver Creek, whatever. You can call the resort. Wish I knew the phone number off the top of my head, and I don't. I'm sorry.
We'll put it up on the website. Don't worry.
But you can call the Tourism Bureau office. They can direct you to a lot of places to get going. All the hotels are very familiar with it. So if you just talk to really anybody at a hotel, they'll know what's going on, and they'll direct you for sure where you need to go.
Awesome. Well, Kevin Henley, thank you so much for joining us from Beaver Creek Resorts right here in Gaylord, Michigan. If you want to plan your next, snowmobile trip or just come up and visit and see the sights, you can totally check it out at gaylordmichigan.net. We've got more to come from Behind the Mitten.
Welcome back to Behind the Mitten. John Gonzalez along with Amy Sherman in Gaylord, Michigan, one of our favorite spots in the whole wide world, right? Amy, we've traveled a lot.
We have. But we keep coming back here.
We keep coming back here. We have a lot of friends.
Winter, summer, spring. It's such a fun place to visit. There's so many things you can do here. Of course, you want to plan your trip. You want to go to gaylordmichigan.net. Have all the information that you're going to need there. And if you want to follow us on Behind the Mitten, Gonza, where should they go?
They should go to Facebook because you'll see photos, videos, and maybe me doing crazy things. Maybe Amy trying different foods. You never know what you're going to see.
It's always a surprise.
But thanks for joining us every single week here on the air.
Absolutely. Okay, we want to welcome back Mr. Paul Beachnau from the Gaylord Tourism Council, who is known to us here at Behind the Mitten as Paulie B. And, right, Paulie?
Yeah, right on.
And our good friend Barry Owens, who is the general manager of Treetops Resort, which is located just outside downtown Gaylord. welcome back to the show.
Great to be here.
If you can picture us, we're in Snowbelt Brewery, and it's a beautiful brewery. We're going to talk more about the beer in a second. But we really have been here many times. We've seen concerts here, right, Paul?
Yeah.
We have just hung out. We've done work. I mean, it's just been a great relationship to get you and getting to know you over the years. But also, Barry, I mean, you're at Treetops. I mean, we're always in awe of what you're coming up with something new all the time, from the skiable feast to, sleigh rides to dog sledding. I mean, there's just so much going on at your property.
Yeah, it's there's never a lack of things to do, that's for sure. And this last summer and then headed into this fall, we made a big investment into winter and significant, $1.5 million just in snowmaking alone, which boggles my mind, but we can make a whole lot more of it, 3 times than we could before. So that's been great. And then, but the one that really, stands out is, doubling our tubing runs. Cause most of the time people could never get on it, cause there was only one run. Now you can never get on it and there's 2 runs.
Because it's so much fun.
Yeah. But if you book in advance, you can get on it.
Which is something you recommend if you're planning a trip up to Treetops, so to make sure you book your activities before you arrive so that you can do the things that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, the activities range all over the board from, you touched on it, dog sledding, tubing, cross-country skiing, skiable feast, spudtacular snowshoe launch, and of course, the big granddaddy of them all is skiing and snowboarding. But yeah, if you're coming up, the farther you can book in advance, the better you'll be able to do it, what time you want to do it and when you want to do it and things like that. People think, hey, I can just show up there and we'll decide what we want to do. If you just show up with no activity reservations, you've pretty much decided what you're going to do.
Paul, as part of the Tourism Bureau, though, it must be awesome to have a property like Treetops right here in your own backyard. So when people come to Gaylord, they have plenty of things to do.
They do. And, Treetops, I grew up here in Gaylord, and I skied out at Treetops when it was Sylvan Knob. And, my favorite ski hill was Sidewinder, which is now where the restaurant is at the top of the hill. But one of the great things about Treetops Resort is there's a lot of ski resorts in Michigan that there's a lot going on. And Treetops is, I would dare say, the best family ski resort, the best family activities. They treat families extremely well. Your kids will not get lost, even if you want them to, because my kids grew up skiing at Treetops, and my daughter went on to participate in national snowboard competition. So there's everything you want to do there, but they're really renowned for the skiing's great. They expanded their snowmaking this year, but there's so many other things to do for the family, and that's what's so important. As Barry mentioned, extreme tubing and some of the spudtacular snowshoe hikes, and their pools are amazing. Obviously, everyone likes to go out and hang out in the pool, and it's just an amazing family winter resort. It's all I can say. If you want to try a pair of snowshoes, you can get snowshoe rentals. Hey, let's go try this for an hour, and it's just such a welcome resort for the state of Michigan. But it's just an amazing. We're really, really lucky to have a resort like Treetops in Gaylord.
Now we're going to talk about the Spudtacular, because I just want to know more about that in a little bit. But Treetops has undergone millions of dollars of renovations over the last couple of years, correct, Barry?
It has, yeah. A few years ago, we did both of our hotels, and as I mentioned, with the tubing and the snowmaking, tremendous amount of other things with energy conservation and reducing our carbon footprint seems to be the phrase nowadays. But a lot of those things have been taking place, and we're in the midst of seems like the number grows every day, but it's approaching $1.5 million. We're redoing all of our original chalets that are down by the base of the ski hill that are ski in and ski out. So those will be done here in the spring. Ready for the beginning of golf season, and then of course ready for next winter, which will be exciting. But one thing I got to do a shout out to, and Paul made me think of it. So in our main lobby where you check in the lodge, we have this bar there, and we've converted it to a place called Candy Bar 81 in the winter. And it is just locked and loaded with every candy you can imagine. And there's a guy that runs it that works for us. His name is Tim, and we call him the Candy Man. And he is so awesome at what he does. And there's and some of the old school candies that you would find at the fountain, the fountain stand or whatever, back when you were a kid growing up, or at least maybe when I was a kid growing up. But
not you, Amy, but Barry and me. But Barry and me, definitely, yeah.
But it was so funny. I'll never forget when we first opened it last year. They were standing there, and a family came up, and there's like 3 kids, and there was a dad, and so the kids are like loading up, just on kidding. Mom's not there, and the dad's standing there, and he looks at Tim, and he goes, "So what am I supposed to have?" And he goes, "Well, we make Hummers here too." And he goes, "Great, give me a double." So we have adult drinks there, to get the parents through as their kids get all sugary jumped up there.
That is really thoughtful of you at Treetops.
It is. We try to go the extra mile, as you know, and
oh, that's awesome.
Barry,
I have not been to the candy bar yet.
Do you have Necco wafers? Do you remember Necco wafers?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, all right,
I ate some this morning from my pancakes.
For breakfast, right?
He pours milk over them,
Some Pop Rocks, maybe. Have some Pop Rocks and some Coke and see what happens.
Okay, Barry, really quickly, tell us about the Spudtacular lunch, because just the name alone is hilarious, and it has a great history to it that I think a lot of people might not be aware of.
Yeah, so there's we're excited to be involved in this. It's a true definition of agritourism. This area, our region, is really known for potatoes, Spud. There's a pretty popular shopping place in town called the Spud Warehouse, which is where the potatoes would be housed before they put them on the train. There runs through our property is a potato railroad, the old grade bed, and that's where they would bring the potatoes from the field to the downtown to put in the Spud Warehouse and ship them away. And still a tremendous history. Obviously, transportation's improved a little bit since then, but one of the folks we partnered with too in regards to this was helped us with some knowledge. Was a guy named Don Sklarzik, who's at Sklarzik Seed Farm, which is just east of town on your way to Joburg. And it's so neat. They do seed buds for tubers, and their number one client is Frito-Lay. So I think something like 90% of the potato chips in the world
originate in Otsego County.
Yes.
That's incredible.
And it's really I
knew I loved Michigan.
And it is a white suit setting that they breed these cultures in. I mean, it's airtight. You're going in, all robed up and everything because they can't have any bacteria in there or anything like that. So it's so they helped us out with some of the history and things like that, and so did the historical museum here too. So, bottom line, it's a hike. It's 3 stops. You go out with kids, parents. It's really neat. All 3 of the food stations are potato-based food. It's kind of neat. We've done a throwback, like the trail map looks like a train route. The ticket to get into it looks like a ticket, for you're getting on the train. Every group gets a Mr. Potato Head until Mr. Potato Head runs out.
That would be Potato Head, not a Mr., but just a Potato Head.
Just a Potato Head.
Just Potato Head.
I'm a little heartbroken about that whole thing. But
well, Barry,
anyway.
if people want to plan maybe participating in the Spudtacular lunch hike, where should they get more information at?
They can go right to our website at treetops.com and go to activities and click on there, and they can actually see availability and book it right there, or they can give us a call at 888-TREETOPS.
Awesome. All right, well, you know what is coming up next? Gonzo, it's Taste of the Week right here from Gaylord, Michigan.
Welcome back to Behind the Mitten. John Gonzalez along with Amy Sherman, enjoying our time in Gaylord, Michigan. And Paul Beachnau, you here, with you here. It's been great hanging out with you, but you love the UP as much as Amy and I do. It's a fun time, and you spend a lot of time up to the UP, right?
We do, and a good friend of mine, Linda Hoth at the Sault Ste. Marie Convention and Visitor Bureau, has told me I'm an honorary citizen of Sault Ste. Marie, but we've had a cabin in Paradise, Michigan for over 40 years, my family has, so I've been able to cover almost every part of the Upper Peninsula, and it's really an amazing. A lot of people still, I've run into people that have never been over the Mackinac Bridge, and it blows my mind because we're just so used to it, but the Upper Peninsula is a really special place, and if you're looking for outdoor recreation